Israel was added to an official UN list of entities that target children for killing. On this list, they are accompanied by such esteemed organizations as Boko Haram and Qaeda. Israel added to UN's child killing list of shame. It took a genocide that killed 15,000 children and maimed and scarred thousands more, but the UN has finally and rightly added Israel to its list of shame. United Nations Secretary Antonio Guterres informed Israel on Friday that for the first time it is being added to the so-called list of shame of countries that kill and injure children during war and other armed conflicts. A decision that infuriated Israeli officials. Of course it did. So they are on this list with other countries and militant groups such as Afghanistan. What? Just Afghanistan, not the Taliban? Just Afghanistan? Al-Qaeda? Boko Haram? Iraq? What? Like the Iraqi state? I don't get it. The Islamic State, Myanmar, Russia. They have to put Russia on there, don't they? As if there's any proportionality here. Like in Ukraine, something like 500 kids have been killed in the entire duration of the war. It's not even like on the same level of, like, it's not even remotely proportionate to what Israel has done in a much shorter time frame in Gaza. Somalia, Syria, and Yemen. Well, for one, this list is a joke, obviously. A lot of these inclusions make no sense whatsoever. You can tell this has mostly been used as a list of like targets of Western geopolitical ire who they want to delegitimize. And obviously the threshold for them to be added to this list is way, way lower than it is for an American ally like Israel, which only speaks to how horrible Israel is that they managed to get added to it. That's always like the way it is. Like these sorts of instruments, you get like 2 reports out of, say, Yemen of like children being attacked or something, and they'll get added to the list immediately. And you get 8 straight months of Israel massacring children, and they get added to the list like reluctantly and belatedly, much to the disappointment of everyone who runs it. That's how this sort of thing usually works. Same thing with like the ICC investigation into Gaza. You can really tell it's the sort of thing that only like happened really belatedly and begrudgingly by prosecutors who would have rather not had to do it, because Israel is that bad that they make it like untenable for that sort of announcement not to be made against them, even by organisms and people who are otherwise biased towards them and would rather not have to do it. And Israel's response was Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who is currently wanted by the ICC, who said that the UN has put itself on the blacklist of history when it joined the supporters of the Hamas murderers. The IDF is the most moral army in the world. They're still going with that line. Insane. And no delusional decision by the US will change that, added the Prime Minister, who is currently being sought for arrest for crimes including extermination. Extermination, by the way, which is what the ICC warrant is going for against Netanyahu and Gallant, is basically genocide, but with a lower threshold of proof. So it's just easier to prosecute. And of course, the list has Hamas on it. On what basis? That around 30 minors were kidnapped by Hamas. So apparently 30 minors being kidnapped is the same as 15,000 children being massacred. What can you say about that one? So yeah, I mean, there's not really that much to say about this. I'm just sort of bringing you guys the news as political streamers do. They just like comment on things that others have already been talking about for days. So this is my comment on this and my informing you of this. In this week where Israel, if you haven't already seen my video on the topic, was revealed to be running mass rape camps where they anally rape random Palestinian civilians from Gaza with electrified and heated metal rods en masse. So yeah, all in all, this is basically an average week for Israel in terms of what they do. The only difference is that now they are also being denounced by the very institutions that exist to protect states like theirs, to delegitimize the enemies of states like theirs, because they're so bad that they've made it untenable for the very international system that is set up for countries like theirs to not turn against them. And that says it all about how genocidal and disgusting the Israeli state is.